If the small thing gets you to do something you're not used to doing and it increases your confidence, then you should have done it sooner. Okay, which is good. But then on the other end, people are like, it's too big. Everybody's like, dude, set realistic goals. Realistic goals do not force urgency, do not get me more creative, and I don't push as hard if it's reasonable. You know what gets me excited? I write down every morning, we're growing 8% to 10,000 people. Dude, I wrote it that we're growing it to 2,500 people. I would not be as urgent. I wouldn't work as hard. And I promise you, I'd have less creativity.
Welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook, where we are helping you expand your Medicare sales one play at a time. We appreciate you guys being with us today. It has been a great show so far. You guys have really chimed in, left messages, told us who you want to see, told us what you want to hear about, and told us some success stories. We want to hear from you, though. Keep liking, keep subscribing, all of those things. We really appreciate that. And let me know who you want to see in that chair right over there. Let me know who you want to hear from. Tell me a problem that you're having, something that we can help you fix. We will definitely do it. But today I have with me a young man that is very influential as to getting me into the business and getting me back into the business. So if you would help me welcome Mr. Cody Askins, Mr. 8%. Cody Askins.
Uncle Dallas.
You yelled at me because I hadn't had you on this yet.
Dude, I'm like the last guest. I got him back in the business. I've known him since I was 10. I got in a fight with his wife when I was 11.
That's true.
He coached me in basketball.
That's true. Yeah.
But I know every dark, deep secret about you.
That's why
and about
you
me.
haven't been on. Let's be honest. Yeah, I don't need those out there, buddy. That's no. We've done some growing up together, man. We've got some stories. We'll stick to some of the good stories, but we might throw in some.
Dude, you got to share them. I'm going to be vulnerable. You share whatever you want.
We've got the tissue box over there for you.
I see that.
That's
I'm
not
like,
just
bro, why is there a tissue box
just to
over
prop
here?
your phone up. That's
like,
just for when the waterworks start.
I mean, I've seen you cry. So I mean,
oh gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Today. You know,
like 5 minutes ago.
I saw what you were wearing, and I'm like, not just kidding.
Yeah, he's like, really?
Yeah.
This short sleeve and a backwards hat.
No, I like it, man. That's cool.
Well, dude, it's a podcast. It ain't a keynote speech, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I was telling Adam before on the way here, we were driving up from Branson to prep for this. And I was like, dude, he's interviewed several people already. I said, but I'm telling you, we will have more natural banter than anyone he's talked to. Yeah. I promise you.
We did a radio show, Fantasy Football.
We did.
About 4 or 5 years.
Fantasy Professionals, local ESPN station, Fridays at 3. Yeah, you led
every Friday at 3:00 on ESPN.
I just chimed in and said stupid stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
Got the attention, and then I corrected it. But no, we had a good time.
Totally,
that was a lot of fun.
No, but blast.
So yeah, let's go back here. You started as an intern with Mutual of Omaha. How long ago was that? What year did you start as an intern?
I got my license end of 2010, and then I was an intern / part-time agent in 2011.
2010, 2011. Yeah. And Mutual of Omaha, captive agency, made $119,000 your first year. $117,000. Yeah.
$391.13.
Why not 119 though? Yeah.
Exactly.
And $117,000 your first year. Did it kind of thinking out of the box, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to that because I think what you developed early on, you started 8% because 92% of agents fail in the first 2 years. Mm-hmm. I think the reason that you did so well in the beginning, this show is brought to you by the word system, boys and girls, right? You developed a system. So talk about some of those things you did early on that even some agents were like, hey, you can't do that, or why do you do that? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't because I developed chest hair because I didn't have any at the time. I was just so young. As I look back though, I think about
what does that mean?
I don't know, but I'm trying to.
We're on, yeah.
I'm like, let's keep their attention, right? Yeah, I don't know. Man. You never know where this is gonna go. Okay, you know what? Maybe he should have me back already.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
That's what I want to be the first comment when this thing airs.
Schedule that one.
Bring him back again. Okay, and I was over like, cut, start over. I was thinking about a couple things. One is I look back over. And even as an early agent, I could tell like the agents that were successful. Because I remember this. I don't think I've ever shared this story. I was saying new stories for this podcast today. I'm the most prepared of anybody you've had.
I like it.
Just kidding. I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
He will be more
dad?
prepared than me. Yeah. No, I'm not at all. But one story I just thought of. I remember being on a plane on the way to a Mutual Mahal trip with my parents while I was a teenager, young teenager too, probably 14, 15 years old. We're going to a trip. I'm getting to hang out with all the top agents in my father's agency back then. And I remember going and my dad's looking over all the production reports because he used to print them out every day and look through the production reports. We're still on the plane. He's looking through production reports. And he goes through and he's like, once you become an agent, this is who you're chasing. What's crazy is...
And how old were you?
I was 14, 15, 16 years old. Right? I wasn't even 8. I was several years away from being an agent.
He's already setting up that this is who you're going after.
Yeah, and we're both very competitive, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I wasn't even sure I wanted to be in the business then. I just saw the amount of money that some of these people were making, and I'm like, bro, if they can do this thing. And so the name was Josh Burns, actually.
Really?
Right? Who we still work with today.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He's like, man, this is the cat you're chasing. And I remember that moment because I really believe there's a few things you got to do to really start to, have a playbook and a system and really start to scale this thing. There's a couple things. One, you have to consistently get in front of people every single week. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows that. If I said, hey, do you want to get in front of people? They're like, uh-huh. Do you want to make money and succeed? Yep. They're like, but I don't know how, right? And so when I first got into business, I didn't know how. Mutual did not have a system.
Right.
Mutual did not have leads.
Yeah.
Mutual said, go talk to your friends and family and network and
write down 200 people. No, back then it was 100 people. 100 people you know and love.
Yep. Which actually on that note, my sales manager back then had me write down the list. Mm-hmm. And I brought him the list. First Dallas session ever. Remember like yesterday. He said, which one of these names do you not want to call? I'm like, oh, great. Perfect. That's awesome. I'm like looking through it. I'm like, oh, bingo. I would love not to call her. He's like, okay, cool. No worries. Looks at the thing, dials her number, hands me the phone. I'm like, hello?
Do the hard things first.
Yeah. And you know what? He got that out of me. But even today, when we're hiring agents, we're hiring sales reps for Cody Askins, LC, and 8%, whatever it is, dude, I am looking to see who will get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If I can push them to get uncomfortable and they will actually get uncomfortable and do what I say, they'll show up, they'll do what I say, and they'll get uncomfortable.
Yep.
And they'll consistently show up and get uncomfortable every day. I can turn anyone on the planet into a 6-figure earner if they will just get uncomfortable.
Yeah. Mark Batterson calls it eating the frog in his book, Win the Day. He
Yeah.
says, get up, eat the frog, do the hard thing first, and then the rest of the day is cake.
I love that.
Yeah. And I was just thinking this past week, one of your sales rep, Joseph.
Joey.
Joey posted, hey, I got to hit a number. And that probably wasn't comfortable for him. Like posted on Facebook,
Correct.
Put himself out there. I got to hit a number. And there was some skepticism, but there was a lot more people that said, hey, and he hit his number. I think,
he did.
Right? Yeah.
He went $400 over. He added another $800 just because of that one post, and you sharing it helped a lot too, by the way.
Well, man, I love seeing people do something like that. Get out there, do something. We've said it. I've got a T-shirt at home. It says CA on the front. On the back, it says successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's all about. So,
well, that's what I've always loved about you too, though, really quick, is like, as you guys listen to the podcast, I'm telling you what, dude, your host would, if I had one phone call to make, and I was in a desperate situation and I needed somebody to go somewhere in the middle of the night to just do whatever, this is who I would call. Okay? My dad's up there, but I'm telling you, this cat would do anything for me. Unbelievable freaking dude, massive heart, phenomenal human being.
I don't have a tissue box on my side.
You need one in a second.
Slow the roll here.
No, what I'm telling you, dude, this cat wants to help people, has a huge heart, and I've been pushing him to do this. And so I'm super thankful that Adam is literally in the other room managing this and putting on this production.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be sitting here because this cat should have had a podcast years ago.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's cool. So, well, and so you've pushed me a lot throughout my career, and I failed at this twice. And I remember the reason I got back into it is because I would hear you talk about your sales.
Yeah.
And I remember going home, I'd tell Laura, I'd be like, yeah, Cody sold like 4 policies today. And she, I'm talking about it, and Lori's like, well, one, Dallas, you need to understand, I don't care. Like she said it a lot nicer than that. But
Yeah.
she's like, listen, Dallas, that's cool. But you're excited about that. Like that still drives you. She's like, what are you doing? You know? So got back into it the third time. And the thing that really got me to stay, I was sitting down with you and your sales manager at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this or not. We were going back and forth about how many people would I need to see and how could I succeed and how could I do this and how could I do that? And finally you stopped. I think you actually hit the table. You said, Dallas, we're not going to let your family go hungry. We're not going to let you just fail. Okay. So let's go. And I went, all right, let's roll.
That's cool.
And so that's what got me back into it, having somebody to be accountable to. But then we set up a system. Sometimes that system was go to the nastiest place in America and get in the nastiest hotel in
We
America.
got some stories for you on that.
You never
Oh my
let Cody sleep
gosh.
next to the air conditioner because he will turn it off or up or whatever. You never let him pick the hotel. And I think he does better nowadays. Like
I'm getting there.
People
I've got a little more, not much, but I got a little more meat on my bones than I did
well,
10 years
and,
ago.
Like people ask, so what star? They didn't have stars at the hotel. They were it was graded by roaches. Like how many roaches?
If it had a star, it was like
yeah, we bougie.
too expensive.
Yeah, it's too much for us. But we would go knock doors in these little bitty towns.
We would.
And make some money and have some fun. But that was our system,
Yeah.
right? You said earlier, people want to get in front of other people. They just don't know how.
Right.
And I mean, it sounds way too simple, but that's why they fail.
100%.
They don't have a system. Even the dumbest system works,
Yeah.
right? You now have a sales team that you manage and that you have out there. How do you make sure they have a system and that they work the system?
Yeah. I mean, literally, what I just heard is like, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm the most prepared all the time, but dude, when I do something, I'm going to show up to win and do well and perform. It was crazy because when you were talking about that story about how you were like, Dallas, we're not going to let your family starve. You know what I thought of? I thought of Jordan, my MJ, when he was talking to Doug. Was it Doug Collins?
Yeah. Oh,
Remember this story?
Where he's got the gum and it's like dried up because he's chewed it
It's like,
so much.
Coach, wipe that
Yep.
powder off your mouth. We are not going to let you lose your first game.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when you told that story,
That's
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Other thing I just thought of when you were talking too is I can't help it when I'm doing podcasts just to like share what comes to my brain. Is when you were talking, I was also thinking about how you said that I like challenged you and pushed you and like have always want to get you out of your comfort zone, whatever. Dude, I would say if everyone's got a gift, right? You can be best friends with somebody in 18 seconds.
Yeah.
If they'll hate me for 18 seconds, maybe another 18 seconds, maybe they won't, right?
Yeah.
We're different in that respect. But I have a gift of challenging people and helping them see more for their life. Like we wear these wristbands, I don't have it on right now, called Expand Your Vision. And for whatever reason, I believe, until someone proves me wrong, I believe that anyone can achieve anything. I don't really know where. I think that comes. I guess that comes from parents and the way I was raised. I grew up believing, bro, there is nothing I cannot do, and so I think I end up that it ends up getting reflected onto everyone else in my life, good or bad.
Well, so I want to take this something practical. So there may be somebody out there now that does not have a system. They are, I call it lottery, working the lottery.
Yeah.
Basically is what they're doing in insurance, the insurance lotto, where they go to work every other day and they hope that they fall into somebody that needs insurance.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a system. If you were telling somebody, plan a system, number one, I know you write down your goals every day. Is that part of the system and why do you do that and how important is that?
I did miss a day recently. I'll tell myself. I didn't know that I did, but I missed a day. And then I wrote down the wrong date thinking I didn't miss. And then I figured it out a few days later and I'm like, I'm off. And the reason I write them down though
It was
is
the leap year.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. It was February. Just 29th.
February.
I write down my goals because.
Now you do this on Saturday and Sunday too, right?
Oh yeah. I did it today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
March 3rd,
recording
2024.
Sunday,
Yeah. As the time we're recording, it's March 3rd, right? You're going to probably air me in
next year
freaking
sometime.
May. Who knows? Okay. We'll wait. They'll put it out later. Maybe not.
That's Adam. That's on Adam.
All right. I got $100 for Adam if we can move it up. Just kidding. I am thinking about this too, though. Like I've always heard, and I've read this and been told this, you're 900% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down every single day. Mm-hmm. If that's true, hypothetically, if it's true, we will gamble on blackjack and poker, and we will do all these different things in life, right? And we'll take advice from anyone about anything, diet, health, medicine, surgery, whatever. But when someone says all you gotta do is write your goals down every single day and you're 900% more likely to achieve them, we never do that. I bet 1% of the population, maybe less, actually does that. And I want you guys that are listening to this, I want you to think, am I one of that less than 1%? Most of you are not. And the truth is, if you've ever heard me say it and then you don't do it, what does that tell me about you?
Yeah.
Because people are like, where's your drive come from? I have a mission to help every insurance agent in the world. And I've also seen this hack of writing down your goals. Everything I've written down has eventually became true. If that's true, two things. I've been writing stuff down that's too small, or it just hasn't come true yet, but I keep writing it down. But if people hear that and they don't do it, it means that they stop saying you want a system and you want to be successful and you want to do all this stuff, because you don't. You're simply lying to yourself.
So why don't people do it?
They don't, because they're not as serious as they say they are. They say they want to make six figures, but as soon as you say pick up the phone and do this, they won't do it. As soon as you say invest in your business, they won't do it. As soon as you say go door knock, they won't do it. As soon as you say go freaking work out in the morning and stop waking up at 7:45 in the morning and watching TV and playing video games till 1 a.m., they would rather play the video games than actually make money.
Everybody wants to be Michael Jordan, but nobody wants to put into practice, right?
100%.
So like putting that down in ink, that's the first step to accountability. Mm-hmm. Now it's just to you.
Well, and you know the coolest thing about it, I don't say this piece a lot, but this is so true. The coolest part about the goals thing is the reason for the goals, in my opinion, there's only one reason to write down the goals, and most people never think about this. The number one reason for goals that we don't think about or talk about is you are simply trying to convince yourself that this could become true in the future. All you're trying to do is raise your belief. If you write something down every day for 100 days, you will believe that it could potentially magically but possibly come true on day 100 way more than you did on day one.
Right.
And if you think about it, most of life is just believing that something can come true. That's why you see the Elon Musks of the world end up achieving ridiculous things that no human's ever done, because they just simply believe at a much higher level than other people. Well, if the goals can raise your belief, then I'm going to try it.
Well, okay. So let me get to this then. So here's my next question. You told me you wrote down goals today. What's the biggest, if you're willing to say it out loud, what's the biggest goal, the most far-fetched thing that you wrote down today?
I wrote down today that we own $1 billion worth of assets inside of a fund.
Okay. Now,
and no one's ever heard that goal, by the way. That's the first time I've ever said that out loud.
$1 billion worth of assets inside a fund. So what's the smallest goal you wrote down today?
My energy is electric.
Okay.
Because I write down what I'm grateful for, long-term goals, short-term goals, and then just a couple of things I'm thinking about. But the smallest thing is, hey, my energy is electric today. Like, I believe that the best way, this is why I think most people's businesses stall at like $100,000, $250,000, $500,000. A lot of these agency owners are all making between like $100,000 to $500,000, and most never break above it.
Yeah.
They're control freaks. They don't want to delegate, and they struggle to attract talent. Right. And I believe the number one reason why a brand will grow, a company will grow, and you will attract talent is because of the energy that you are putting out. And that's like, okay, I get it, but what does that mean? Dude, it means that like I control my energy. I get one first impression. There'll be somebody on this Medicare Sales Playbook that listens to your podcast that's never heard me on a podcast before. And even though we're buddies.
How is that possible?
I'm sure. Yeah. Promise you, right? You'll have Corby or somebody. You know what I mean? Who knows, right? Yeah. Dude, and when that happens, just like MJ was like, bro, I play so that the kid in nosebleed that never saw me before and may never see me again gets to see me play. Dude, that's the way I attack a day.
Yeah.
I attack a day that when I speak and I put off energy and I meet someone, like I'm very picky on how I'll leave an event or a speech or an interaction or a podcast or just introducing myself to somebody. And I'll leave and think, gosh dang it, I could have done that so much better.
Like you only get one shot at that first impression.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you do. The phone call when you're calling the leads.
Yep.
Dude, you get it once.
Yeah. Tony Gilliam, we talked to him recently, talked about how the first 3 seconds really,
Yep.
a lot of people study the whole process of the phone call. He said, study that first 3 seconds because that determines whether or not you're going to get that sale.
That's where you keep them on the phone or you don't.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that being said, the reason I asked what's your biggest and what's your smallest, I think it can go both ways. We can make the mistake of making our goals too easy. Like I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to make Rice Krispies. My day's good. I did everything on my goal list. Or we can make our goals too unattainable.
Okay.
So then every day we, I didn't make $100,000 today. What?
Can I argue on both sides?
Yeah. How do we set that balance?
I don't think we do. Okay, so here's what I mean.
Okay.
It's your podcast. You do
No. I like this. We're going to fist fight here in a minute.
Two reasons. I disagree on both ends.
Yeah.
One, you say it's too small. There's an old adage in a story, 2 stories I'm thinking about right now. One story of how this mentor, this guy went to this mentor and said, hey, I'm struggling to honor my commitments to myself, right? Easiest person to lie to is you, right? You don't honor your commitments to yourself. You're a biggest hypocrite in the world, right? Whatever. He went to the mentor and said, I'm struggling to honor my goals and do what I say I'm going to do. And I say I'm going to do stuff and I don't do it. He said, go walk around the block once a day for 30 days. He did that. Confidence went up, started honoring commitments to himself. Another story real quick. Andrew Tate, who everybody's heard of all over the world, right? Mm-hmm. Aggressive and et cetera, right? He had a young kid email him, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 years old and said, I'm thinking about committing suicide. He said, before you do that, go to the gym once a day for 30 days. A few weeks in, the kid came back and said, dude, I'm going to the gym every day. My confidence is skyrocketed. So you would naturally think it's too small. Yeah, but if the small thing gets you to do something you're not used to doing and it increases your confidence, then you should have done it sooner. Okay, which is good, right? Am I winning the argument so far? Okay.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay.
I'll never admit defeat, but yeah, I get you.
But this is a good conversation because everybody says this. It's too small. Like you're not doing anything yet. Let's do something. But then on the other end, people are like, it's too big. No, it's not too big because it's gonna raise your belief. Everybody's like, dude, set realistic goals. Realistic goals do not force urgency. Do not get me more creative. And I don't push as hard if it's reasonable. You know what gets me excited? I write down every morning, we're growing 8% to 10,000 people. Dude, I wrote it that we're growing it to 2,500 people. I would not be as urgent. I wouldn't work as hard. And I promise you, I'd have less creativity.
So my argument was have a mixture, right? Don't let everything be unrealistic.
Sure.
Don't let everything be too small. Have a mixture of everything throughout, right?
Yeah.
Something that's attainable. So once you write your goals, then if you do that first thing in the morning, that you've already done something to make yourself responsible to follow that day.
Correct.
Because you have daily goals, right? You have daily goal, yearly, monthly, whatever.
Yep.
So then you've got something that day to do.
Correct.
You and I worked with a guy. I won't mention his name. He was probably...
We may mention his first name.
He was probably the first one there, if not very close to it.
Scott.
No. No. Always the best dressed guy in the office.
Okay, never mind.
And one of the last guys to leave, but never wrote any business. Right? You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I do now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another guy that was always sitting in his car smoking and was there at the office more than anybody else.
Here's the thing. I just described like half of the insurance workforce.
You did. So I thought of several people, by the way.
But this dude dressed to the nines, new suit, tie, everything. And was always there before me and always left after me. Right. But never did anything. Because he would come to me and say, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And I'd be like, well, what are you actually doing today?
Yeah.
I'm here. In the insurance world, that doesn't work. Right.
It's a step and it's a step people struggle with.
Yeah.
Showing up is step one of success. But if you're just showing up and not doing anything, You're missing some of the other pieces.
Yeah, but it's not an escalator, right? You got to take the next step. Like that escalator ain't moving you to the top. If someone is sitting there struggling today saying, okay, Cody, I'm in. And I would encourage people to do this right now. Take out a piece of paper and just write down, I will write down my goals every day. Like that's step one, right?
Yeah.
And then keep going from there. But they say, okay, Cody, I'm in, I have been failing because I'm not active. I'm not, a lot of people are raised with the mindset of, and a lot of people that come to us are raised with the mindset of, I go clock in and then from 9 to 5, somebody tells me what to do. I don't have that now.
You're right.
I don't have that.
Society has tricked us into like, that's the thing to do. It's weird if that's not the case. And it has caused people to be extremely, in some cases, lazy, in some cases, less creative. And it has caused way more people to be intrapreneurs than entrepreneurs, which is okay because some people are way more meant for that world than the other world. Entrepreneurship it's glamorized, it's glorified, but it's freaking brutal.
Yeah.
You get the crap beat out of you every day. You will end up financially stressed out, almost going bankrupt multiple different times in your life. Like it is not for the faint of heart or for everyone. That's for sure.
Yeah. So if you're sitting there in front of an agent and they're like, Cody, I want 5 minutes of your time. Tell me how I run my day. What are you saying?
That's good. How I ran my day back when I was an agent is far different from the way I run it now. But if you're like, I want to make 6 figures. Okay. You need to wake up at a certain time every day. Do whatever in the morning is going to get you to be a better version of you, right? I'll give you an example, right? I'm writing down the goals. I'm doing the cold shower, the push-ups. Sometimes I'll go for a walk. Sometimes I'll read, right? Different stuff. Get to the office. If you're going to office, if you're going to, your office in your house, right? At least take a shower, get a little bit dressed up, even if you're going to another room in your house, because it's just showing that I'm here. I'm in that mode.
The brain needs to be switched from I'm at home to I'm at work.
100%. And I think that's the biggest struggle. Like I heard of a kid yesterday tell me how he was, when he's not making calls, he's or not on the phone with somebody, he's playing video games. I'm like, my brain cannot switch between I am running a business and I am playing video games every 30 minutes. And that's what he said. I'm like, dude, that's not how it works. It's not.
Don't get me on the kick of grown-ass men playing video games.
It happens a lot more than you think, bro. A lot more than you think. Okay, so then it's like, okay, then there's only 2 things that you can do that actually make you money in insurance. My dad always talks about revenue generating activities, right? You're either trying to get in front of someone or you're in front of someone.
Right.
Guess what? If you're not doing one of those 2 things, you are not getting paid.
Wow. That makes it simple, doesn't it?
If you're working your pending, checking emails, responding to flipping text messages, sending out newsletters, all sort of stuff that rearranging your desk, moving your pen over here, putting your laptop over there, making sure your phone's shiny before you pick it up.
Feng shui.
Right? Yeah. None of it actually makes you any money. We actually end up putting more time on thinking about the stuff we're going to do and planning out our day and make sure everything's perfect than actually going to work, which is why I always say the phrase, details delay. Or my sister loved the phrase the quote that I shared of, and I think she said it on your podcast recently.
Yeah.
Don't think, just do.
Don't think, just do.
Everybody wants to think, dude. Winners do. People that succeed do. They take action.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, last question. In this industry,
I'm just getting warmed up. This is fun.
I know.
This is fun.
Adam's hitting the buzzer over there.
He's the producer, bro.
I obey everything he does. Last question. In this industry, there is a lot of misinformation, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like we're in a Baptist church, and
it's a dangerous topic.
It is, right? And listen, I don't want the easy stuff.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad.
It's all like we're all Baptist preachers, and if we have 29 people there, we had just under 50.
Yeah.
Like that's
round up to 100.
Right. How do you, because I believe almost everyone that's came and done a podcast, which there's been a lot of people before you, right?
From what I've heard. I've heard.
Everyone has said mentors. Man, you got to have great mentors. You got to have great mentors. Who is your mentor, and how do you, in this industry, distinguish, okay, I'm going to follow that guy because what he's doing is actually like legitimate?
Yeah. It's an interesting question too, because everybody talks in, a few reasons why I feel like people gravitate towards me and follow me more than the next cat.
Mm-hmm.
A few reasons. One, I don't speak in generalities as much as most people.
What do you mean by that?
Find a mentor.
Yeah. Okay. What's that mean? Yeah.
Call your leads. Work hard. Work ethic is important.
Yeah. Okay.
Goals matter. Your network is your net worth. You are the top 5 people you surround yourself with. Those are great, but those are all cliches, right? They don't actually tell me what to do. That's one reason. 2, I feel like they know that I am generally going to keep in my own way. I'm generally going to keep it real and be honest with someone. Like I've even gotten like I think with podcasts, the biggest issue is they're always like. That's why I like to challenge the other guests when I'm in this seat, because nobody else does that. It's like, dude, we're best friends, and dude, we are actually. Yeah. But when you're like, hey, dude, they can be too small and they can be too big. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Yeah. But everybody else is like, they're trying to be the nice person, and I think that I was in that mode for way too long, dude. If I had a gentleman that makes 9 figures a year, said everybody thinks I'm a jerk, but I care enough to be direct. And what he meant by that is, if everybody else is like, if you're doing terrible and you're lazy and you're playing flipping video games and your bank account is broke and everybody else is like, hey, good job, buddy. You're going to do a great job. You're going to be amazing. I know last week sucked. You have a lot of potential. You didn't do anything, but you're going to be really good.
Cuss word in the industry.
Dude, it's like, dude, I want to actualize my freaking potential, man. Like I had so many people early on in sales that were like, dude, you got so much potential. You're going to be $1 million before you're 30. Like, it's good they were speaking life into me, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to freaking get there quicker. And I would, if people actually cared, they would be honest with you. They would be real with you. You would say, well, hey, I'm going to do a good job is honest. Yeah, but if you're not doing a good job, it's not honest.
Right.
And I've noticed that a lot, to where there's generalities. We don't keep it real. We tell everybody that was the biggest hindrance that I did to the industry for years. Is I was always like the guy that's super optimistic, like, hey, you're going to be amazing, you're going to be perfect. This is going to turn out so freaking incredible. Oh my gosh, you are so awesome.
Yeah,
that's good. I believe in people. I want to be optimistic. I want to push them. But dude, if they're not working, I'm not going to let somebody sit in my office and not work and not be honest with them. Because who cares more? The person that's like, great job last week. They made 32 calls. Great job last week. Someone made 7 dials in my office on Friday. Great job on Friday. Or, dude, what the freak is wrong with you, bro? 7 dials. You said you wanted to be successful. You said you wanted 6 figures. You said you wanted this life. You're not proving it.
That goes back to...
Who cares more?
That goes back to the person hearing that has to know your intent for their life, right? Correct. I don't mind somebody telling me, hey, stop being a moron, if I know that their goal is to really help me stop being a moron.
100%.
Right. And 2, if I stop somebody, so out here on Highway 65, and they say, look, I'm on my way, I want to go to Rogersville, and 65 does not go to Rogersville. Mm. And if I just keep, hey, you're doing a great job, you're driving great, your hands are at 10 and 2, all that stuff, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm worse to them than somebody that just says, hey, idiot, Rogersville's on Highway 60. You need to turn. Now, there may be nice ways to say it.
Sure.
But I care more about them if I correct them and teach them to go the right way.
100%. And I don't want to be the a-hole. I want to speak life into people, as people did for me. But I also want to keep it real.
Well, I didn't want to spank my kids either, but I also don't want to go to prison. You know what
Amen
I mean?
to that.
So
yeah. Okay. Does that help with the?
That helps a lot. Yeah. Dude, find the person that's going to speak truth to you.
And too, if the whole find a mentor, how the flip do I find a mentor?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here's how you find it. I want you to think about it. Also, two things. One, you need to find the person that has what you want. They are the type of person I want to be, and they have the life that I want, and they've achieved it at massive levels. Not talking that they've achieved it, like you can actually tell they freaking achieved it. Mm-hmm. So many people with a laptop in their mom's basement claiming they're freaking successful in the insurance industry. Dude, it's not true. It's false. Okay, that's the first thing, right? Adam's trying to get your attention. That was the first piece. Okay, of this whole mentor thing. Second, they listen to too many people.
Yeah,
they think they can have 12 mentors. Dude, you need to find one. What helped me get to where I am today? Faster. I found one. I went freaking deep into that world of that one person and soaked up everything I possibly could. Because every mentor has conflicting things that they say. Like, here's an example. I know you're trying to wrap it. Okay?
We're good.
The Academy, Ultimate Agent Academy.
Yeah. That's on my list.
I had previous things in the past where the different programs, I would bring in a different speaker every week.
Yeah.
You know who speaks every week now?
You.
Me.
Yep.
Because I would have one person that would say, you can't ever have too many leads. Next week, you have way too many leads. Like, literally back-to-back weeks. And I'm like, you've got this brand new agent who's 24 years old, knows nothing about being an entrepreneur in sales, and they're getting conflicting advice constantly. What happens when you're confused or you get conflicting advice?
Usually you quit.
You either quit or you don't do anything, which is quitting anyway, right? Yep. You literally stop.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm like, I don't know what to do, you stop. But if you have clear instructions and you know what to do, your confidence goes up, your belief grows, and you get there much quicker.
Yeah. I was going to mention Ultimate Agent Academy. It's so important that agents surround themselves with like-minded people, more than even like-minded people that believe higher than they believe that they can achieve something. I think the Ultimate Agent Academy is the best thing you've ever done. I know it's a lot of time for you.
For $49 a month, it's a ton of time. Yes.
It is. And I don't get paid if you guys sign up for Ultimate Agent Academy. That's not what this is about.
We got to get you an affiliate link.
Yeah, exactly. But no, tell me why you did Ultimate Agent Academy, and we'll wrap it up there. Yeah,
we did the Academy because it's so easy when you're building something like we are to move away from and only do the things that pay you really well. Okay.
Yeah.
That's life. That's business. That's easy. Mark Cuban ain't doing keynotes for 30 grand anymore. Right. $500,000 or he won't even talk to you. Right. I kept being pulled to the money, but I also I just felt such a calling to help the new agent. Like, I believe that I speak to the new agent community better than anyone in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm 33. I'm not near as old as Dallas, but I'm getting older.
Close.
Okay. But I still feel very connected to that world, and I enjoy helping other people make money far more than I enjoy helping myself make money. I've got stories about that. I'm not going to tell them now. However, it fills me up, and I'm more satisfied when I can see someone else win. And now with the Academy, we're hearing people win every single day because they're posting about it.
That's awesome.
And dude, it's freaking amazing.
Yep. Tell them where they can find you. Easiest way to get a hold of you. And if they were going to do one thing with Cody Askins, what would it be?
Come to the 8% Nation Conference.
Yeah.
It is the best thing we do by far. Academy is from afar, but really intimate. Dude, I want to think bigger. I want to get woke the freak up. I want to expand my vision. And I want to be around amazing flipping people and get jacked up for 3 or 4 days. Nothing in our industry comes close to the 8% Nation Conference. Nice. It just doesn't.
Just Google Cody Askins, guys. You'll find it. You
can follow me on Instagram at Cody.Askins. I'm actually live right now. I'm probably the first guest to do that.
First one to do that. Yeah.
You can't help it, man. You know what I mean? If you can multitask a little bit in life, it's like, dude, why not?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being on. Well done, buddy.
Thanks,
I appreciate you all the time.
Appreciate you. Thanks for finally having me on.
Yeah, it was worth it.
I love that you're doing this. You guys should definitely subscribe and keep listening to this cat. I promise you, amazing freaking episodes to come. I love these doing this. Keep supporting this dude, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you again for a great Medicare Sales podcast. Thanks for tuning in, spending some time with us. And guys, here's the thing about this podcast. If you don't get something from it and act on it, it's a waste of time. So if you're not going to act on something that you hear, stop wasting your time. Go out there, write down your goals every day. Share with me in the comments, hey, I'm going to start writing down my goals. Share some of your goals.
Please.
And when you achieve the goals, then share that too. That's why we do this. We want to help you succeed and expand your Medicare business. A big thank you to our producer, Adam Steffen, in the booth there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure and like, subscribe, follow, comment. Tell us we're doing great. Tell us we're not doing great. Tell us who you want to see in that chair. Appreciate you guys. Get out there and write some business.